Hello and welcome. There's a silent, invisible force working against your money every single day. It doesn't show up on your bank statement as a fee. You won't get a notification about it on your phone. But year after year, it systematically steals your purchasing power, making your hard-earned savings worth less and less. This invisible thief is called inflation. If you're someone who keeps a large amount of money in a savings account, under a mattress, or in any place where it isn't growing, you're in a losing battle. Understanding inflation is not just an economic lesson. It's a fundamental survival skill for your financial health. In this video, we're going to expose this hidden enemy. We'll make the abstract concept of inflation feel real and tangible, show you its devastating long-term effects, and most importantly, give you the tools to fight back and protect your wealth. So let's get into it. First up, what exactly is inflation? At its core, inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. As inflation goes up, every single dollar you own buys a smaller percentage of a good or service. Let me make this super simple with an analogy. Think of your money's purchasing power as a giant block of ice on a hot summer day. It looks solid and substantial, right? But if you just leave it out in the sun, it slowly melts away. You haven't touched it, you haven't done anything to it, but over time, its size and substance just diminish into a puddle. That's exactly what inflation does to your cash. Let's use a real-world example that everyone can feel: the price of a cup of coffee. Back in the year 2000, the average price of a cup of coffee was around $1.50. Today, that same exact cup of coffee is easily $4 or even more. The coffee didn't get magically better, your dollar just got weaker. That $1 and $50 bill from 20 years ago is no longer enough to buy a simple coffee today. That, my friends, is inflation in action. Now, the official inflation rate is measured by something called the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. It basically tracks the price of a basket of common goods and services, things like groceries, gas, and housing. In a healthy, growing economy, a common target for inflation is around 2% per year. That might sound like a tiny, insignificant number, but trust me, its effects are cumulative and incredibly powerful over time. Now, let's look at the math that should honestly scare anyone who keeps their long-term savings in cash. The real enemy here isn't just inflation by itself. It's the combination of inflation and time. Your money has something called a real rate of return, which is simply your investment return minus the rate of inflation. Let's say you have $10,000 just sitting in a traditional savings account, earning a measly 0.1% interest. And let's say the inflation rate for the year is 3%. Your nominal return is 0.1%, the inflation rate is 3%. So your real rate of return is 0.1% minus 3%, which equals negative 2.9%. Your money is effectively losing nearly 3% of its purchasing power every single year. It's like having a boat with a very small, slow leak. You might not notice it at first, the water trickles in so slowly you ignore it. But eventually, you're going to look down and realize you're sinking. Let's project this forward to see the real damage. Imagine you put $10,000 under your mattress today. You just hide it away. And let's assume inflation averages 3% per year for the next 20 years. What do you think happens? Well, in 20 years, you'll still have that same $10,000 in cash. But because of inflation, that $10,000 will only have the purchasing power of about $5,500 in today's money. You didn't spend a single dime, you didn't lose it, but you lost almost half of your wealth. This is the silent erosion that stops people from reaching their financial goals, all without them ever understanding why. It's a quiet wealth killer. So, how do you win this battle? How do you fight back? Well, you can't stop inflation. That's a force of the economy, but you can outrun it. You need to put your money to work in assets that have a high probability of growing faster than the inflation rate. Think of it like this: there's an inflation monster constantly chasing you. You can't stop the monster, but you can run faster than it. Here's your game plan to protect your wealth. First, you need to understand the difference between safe and smart. A traditional bank savings account feels safe, doesn't it? The number on your statement never goes down. But as we've just seen, it is absolutely not safe from inflation. Smart, on the other hand, means protecting your purchasing power, and that requires taking on a little bit of calculated risk to get a higher return. Second, you need to invest in historical inflation beaters. Over the long term, two major asset classes have consistently outperformed inflation. The first one is the stock market. A broad-based U.S. stock index fund, like one that tracks the S&P 500, has historically returned about 10% annually on average. After you subtract 3% for inflation, that's still a 7% real return. This is your most powerful weapon against inflation, bar none. The other major asset class is real estate. Real estate values and rental income tend to rise with inflation, which makes it a natural hedge. Now, you don't have to go out and buy a whole building. You can invest easily through what are called real estate investment trusts, or REITs, which are basically stocks of companies that own real estate. Third, you can use some government-protected tools wisely. The U.S. government offers things called I-bonds, or Series 1 savings bonds. These are specifically designed to protect your money against inflation. Their interest rate actually adjusts with the inflation rate, which guarantees your purchasing power won't go down. Another tool is TIPS, which stands for Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. Similar to I-bonds, the principal value of TIPS adjusts with inflation, protecting your initial investment. These are great, lower-risk options, and this brings us to the golden rule: do not leave your long-term money in cash. Your emergency fund, which should be about 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, should be in a high-yield savings account. These are different from traditional savings accounts. They at least earn a decent interest rate to help offset some of inflation's effects. But any money you're saving for a goal that's more than 5 years away, especially for retirement, absolutely must be invested in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds to have any chance of growing your real wealth. Inflation is a fact of life. You can't wish it away. But by being aware of it and taking proactive steps, you can transform yourself from a passive victim into an active defender of your own financial future. So let's do a quick recap. What is inflation? It's the silent, steady erosion of your money's purchasing power over time. Why does it matter so much? Because if you leave it unchecked, it can cut the real value of your cash savings in half in just 20 years. And how do you fight it? By investing your long-term savings in assets like stocks and real estate that have historically grown much faster than the rate of inflation. Ignoring inflation is like ignoring that slow leak in your financial boat. You might feel fine for a while, but eventually, you'll find yourself taking on water and wondering what went wrong. Don't let your hard-earned savings slowly melt away into nothing. Be intentional, be invested, and build wealth that actually lasts. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on how to build a stronger financial future. See you in the next video.